Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. The new Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu, may have taken to his responsibilities like a duck to water. But in the midst of all the fanfare that ushered him in, a lot of Nigerians have also been quick to remind him about the emergency nature of what's expected of him in that position. Top of his to-do list, in most people's opinion, is the worsening relationship between Nigerian police personnel and members of the public. Image, they say, is everything, and as Nigeria continues to grapple with rising insecurity, the IGP is expected by many to adopt confidence-building measures, both for law enforcement agents and more critically between them and a population that keeps getting suspicious, if not outrightly hostile, of the men and women in uniform. Now, against this backdrop, our next conversation will be with Isiah Davies Ijele, who's the convener of League for Good Governance. And the main focus will be on restoring the integrity of the Nigeria's police and steps that are already being initiated to actualize the creation of state police, as well as some other agenda setting for the new Inspector General of Police. Good morning, Isiah. Welcome to the morning show here on Arise News.
Good morning, and thank you for having me this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. Steve.
Good morning, Isiah. Good morning. Good to have you.
Thanks for joining us. Now let's get straight into this. Just a couple of days ago, it's been reported that in Borno State, at least 100 women and children were kidnapped. Internal security in Nigeria is in a critical state. But as I also said in the introduction, the relationship between people and the police does not seem to be very good. What are some of the reforms that you're expecting to see from the new IGP Disu when it comes to repairing the relationship between the Nigerian citizens and their police? And and innovative reforms, such as maybe no more police barracks, removing this colonial mentality of celebrating the police from the people they're policing. What are your thoughts?
Okay, thank you very much for having me this morning. First of all, I would like to say that Nigeria police are doing very well in some certain areas. And also, there are so many, just like you said, that the gap between Nigeria police and the citizens is nothing to write home about as a result of the bad eggs among them. And as a result of some of the incidents that we've been seeing, such as police brutality, and so many of the bad boys' activities. But that does not, erase the fact that there are still good men in the police. I am a victim of police before, and I also met somebody in the police that formed my opinion about, look, something better can be done. So we still have good men in the police. You see, so there are a lot of issues that are already on ground between the citizens and the police. Now, one of the things, let me shock you with one story. From my finding, the previous IG sacked a lot of police officers that were involved, find one thing in one thing or the other. But you don't see them on media. I want to tell this current IG, specifically Disu, please, any policeman found wanted in any area, either senior officers or junior officers, dismiss them on national television. See, we cannot build confidence in police if you don't see the actions of the IG or the Police Service Commission openly. And I'll give you an example of some of those things. Look, the previous IG, from my finding, when he came in, find out that there are a lot of officers, both the junior and the senior officers, that had issues of forged certificate. Falsified credentials. And, I was told that these are issues that the previous IG did not want to go into. But IG Ogbetek went into it and sent all the lists to Police Service Commission. And Police Service Commission look at all the lists and order everybody to resign. We were not told on national television that these are the reasons why some of the senior officers were released of their duty from the Nigeria police. These are the issues that will build confidence in the citizen that, look, something is happening. Reformation is going on. Let me shock you this. I went to one of the police formation somewhere last year, And I met some police officers, about 4, that were locked up. When I asked the reason, it will shock you, because of extortion, because of this. And I was told that they were later dismissed. I don't see it on national television. I think those are the innuendos and the imperfections of the former IG, maybe too gentle not to bring out his activities online. And these are the issues that people look at it. Oh, what his police is doing, what the IG is doing, what this one is doing. No, sir. They are doing a lot of things that are not in the domain. I see, having PRO or the police media team is not enough. You need to be calling for every week, 2 weeks, even every month, press conference, and be telling the citizen, look, we have done this. Look, this one happened here. We caught the officers, and he was released, and she was sacked. This will build confidence in this with the citizen.
Okay, I get your point, your animated point. I get it, but I would like you to speak more to what many people consider to be the new dawn with the Nigerian police, given what everybody celebrates about the new helmsman, the new IG, Tunji Disu. And I'd like you to speak to 3 important issues which might be necessary in how his tenure will be adjudged. Many people say that part of the reason why the former IG was relieved of his duties had to do with 3 important things. First is reluctance on the matter of state police, which is very dear to the heart of the president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Second was his insistence on tinted glass thing that many people found inconvenient. If cars are factory fitted and they have tinted glasses, maybe there are other ways that you can look at it rather than try to generate money for the police through it. And of course, the issue of the officers attached to VIPs, which the president was very clear about. Remove them, send them back to their bases. But it looked like the former IG was reluctant and then found a way around it, etc. What will be your word for the new IG on these 3 important matters, particularly on the issue of state police, which he himself, Tunji Disu, has said that it has come to stay and that he will give it his full support. What are your thoughts in advising him and setting the necessary agenda for the new IG?
Thank you very much, Mr. Steve. I love the question you asked, because you cannot set an agenda for the new IG without also talking about the past IG, just the immediate past IG, the person of Ogbeteku. And I want to start from your first about the state police. We all want state police. As a young politician, I have participated in an active election, in the front runner of that election as a spokesperson. And sometimes I was scared initially about the state police, because some governors, some politicians will use them against us. Now, let me give you an example. Prior to 2023 election, just 2 days to election, as a candidate, as a senatorial candidate, my officers, my CSO just called me that we have been called back to Lokoja, that were asked to be withdrawn from all the politicians. I was left alone. You see, now some of us start thinking alike that, look, if this power goes to the governors in the state, they will use the CP against us. And don't forget, my opinion about Nigeria, my positive opinion about Nigeria police today is as a result of my encounter with Egbetoku in Lokoja. I'm giving you a background. When we were waylaid by the police, when police attacked us, that I was almost assassinated. This is the man that we cried to. My people cried to his office, protested to his office, and he flew down with helicopter right in my presence with the CP, which is also now the former CP of a retired CP, Bertrand Onoha.
Mr.
He was questioning the man right in my
can I understand
I said,
something?
This one you are seeing.
Excuse me, Isiah. Can I understand that you're saying that you were nearly assassinated and the former IGP of police flew out with a helicopter to personally rescue you?
Yes. Okay. Now the incident happened.
Is that an example? Are you using that as an example of good policing?
Yeah, I'm using as an example of about the state police. I'm using as an example about the state police.
Of good policing, right? Or of state police.
The IG asks. state police, about the state policing. We are talking about the power, giving the power to the state, right? Now, I'm giving an example of a CP that ordered an operation to go after innocent citizens, if not for the IG. So the state policing is very good. But what are the measures? So I am telling to Mr. Disu that, look, state policing is very, very good. We all want to have a community policing, but make sure that the politician, let me tell you, the major problem with Nigeria security issues today are the politicians. They are the one using insecurity to oppress each other, oppress the citizen. There is no way the interference of politicians are not affecting our day-to-day activities. You see politicians using the same police to attack themselves, attack the citizen. And now we are having authority, now more power to use that at the state level. I will ask Mr. President and the current IG to put up measures, constitutional measures. I'm not talking about just a word or a press statement, a constitutional measure. If possible, send it to the National Assembly to be approved and put measures in place that politicians, the state governors, the CP in the state, from like what I was telling you previously, it was IG in my presence when we were brought to the CP office. He asked the CP who authorized the operation. The person that led the operation said it is the CP. CP, why do you authorize such operation? The man was jittery in our presence. Imagine if they, and he ordered for our release immediately. I never met him before until that day. That formed my opinion that there could be good officer. Is it money? Nothing. Can I pay him? Can a sitting governors and a sitting CP? What do we have to give the IG? But you see, these are the issues about the state policing that must be.
Yes,
so we need to critically look into it. That.
Yes, thank you very much, Isiah, Davies, Ijele. I do hear you. I think some people will find it very hard to believe that the very first time that you're meeting the IGP is when he flies in on a helicopter to rescue you from imminent assassination. But thank you very, very much for joining us this morning here on the Morning Show on Arise News. It's been lovely having you. Thank you very much.